Hey everybody, this is OHSF's all-decade team, and I'm reporting in with an offensive lineman from the list. I'm going to let him self-introduce himself and take it away.
Hi, my name is Connor Davis. I'm an offensive lineman from Franco, Cité, Les Faucons. I played during the years of 2012, 2015. We had some pretty successful years playing. I don't think we've ever had a losing season when I played there. So
that's amazing. And so before we even get into that high school segment, talk to us about how you got into football and what your football background is, and your upbringing in the sport, where you got yourself into it.
I started off playing football. Well, I was a baseball player originally, and all my friends in high school, because Franco goes from grade 7 to grade 12. So I was already at the school for middle school, and all my friends wanted me to play football because I was the biggest kid in school. So it just made sense. So I hung up my glove and bat and picked up some cleats, picked up some pads, and I went to sign up with the Mustangs in Encafa because that's where all my friends were playing. But it turns out I lived on the other side of the tracks, couldn't play for the Mustangs. I had to play Raiders. But I ended up being the last cut that year from the Raiders, and then signed with the Mustangs a day later. So it worked out. I got to play with my friends. So a lot of the guys, we played together at Mustangs. We played together at school. We played together at Cumberland, for OVFL, OPFL.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, they were my brothers. We'd play together all the time. We just knew each other. That's why it was so fun growing up. All our teams were good because we were literally friends. We wanted to play for each other, not for.
And that's super important. That team chemistry kind of, folded into going to Franco Cité. And obviously yourself as a Francophone and somebody who speaks French, with a name like Connor Davis, nobody really expects that. But of course, it allows you, so many other pathways. And then also being able to go and play high school football in a Francophone setting is completely unique as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. My mom is French, so she really wanted me and my siblings to get a French education. So we were going to Franco regardless. But then when my grade 9 year, the school actually got a football program, and we were able to because we were kind of like a sports school. We had sports programs. We actually had classes with the teams. So they incorporated football into it, and it was just great from there on.
Yeah, and for many people who don't know, Franco Cité is a sport-études school, right? And so they do prioritize you guys who are going to school not only to be an athlète étudiant, as you say, but also focusing on that étudiant aspect on top of being that athlète. So that's a big deal for you. And that's a perfect segue into the next topic, talking about you getting to be able to play for Franco Cité and being a high performance athlete at the school. Talk to us about your time at Ottawa High or during Ottawa High School football. What were some positives and some fun moments that you had playing? Clearly, you were talking about your friends. You can speak to that and some coaches and other things that happened during your time as a varsity athlete for Franco.
Well, I'll start with the coaches, Monsieur Denis and Monsieur Bovard. They allowed us to have so much success because not only did we played it in the Quebec League for some of my high school years, as well as the Ontario one, it flip-flopped kind of. And then we also had spring seasons where it was just small games, but against the Ontario teams, the coaches just made a point, we were just there to have fun. It wasn't anyone could be on our team, really. No one was caught, nothing. and like we just became like a group of brothers. Like I remember like we lost a few guys like going to other schools from like grade 9 to grade 12. I think we had 12 guys remain like that stayed together. And it was just like so important because like most of us, like we was beside each other, like my tackle Josue and my center Cedric. Like I wouldn't have been able to do what I did without them, even though I was the most experienced because I played outside of high school. They did, some of the guys did not. I was able to like teach them and like be better ball players, and with them they made me a better ball player because we were able to work together so flawlessly, because like we literally spent all our time in high school, like when we had class together, we were together, hallways together, like the boys now, like we never left each other's side, and that's what just made it so fun.
Yeah. And you have a memorable memory with those guys. You're talking about how you can't do your job without them. Let's talk about your job as an O-lineman. You have a memorable play or something that comes up to your mind with those guys coming around, maybe on a crack or on a pull. Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of pancakes during high school, especially my grade 12 year. I think, I mean, we didn't have official stats, but like I counted myself. I had over 100 pancakes in 8 games. So
it shows you the dominance, right? And why you're deserving of this list. If you have 100 pancakes in a season, I think there's a reason why you're on this team.
I mean, I was just really trying to get those pancakes. Like that was like the time in my life, like where football was like my main priority. And I wanted to like, O-line don't get as much recognition. So I wanted to be recognized like from the boys in the locker room. And like that, like I'm a silent type of guy, like on the field. I don't talk at all. I don't like talking trash. A lot of guys do, but like I'm never one to do it. So like I lead silently. Like I'm a lead by example type of guy. So like a lot of guys just like followed me that way. But the one play like I do remember is Leonardo was our quarterback in grade 12. He was in grade 11. He was a very mobile quarterback. And I remember, I think we were up by like 3 touchdowns already, and he said in the huddle, he's like, this is supposed to be a passing play, but like you're completely dominating, so I'm going to run it right behind you. We're going to score. So like I ended up getting 2 pancakes on that play. I pancaked the down lineman, and then I got the linebacker too. And he ended up running right behind me, and we got a 77-yard TD.
Amazing. Yeah. That's it just goes to show you, man, that you're a dominant guy at that time, and your mobility helped you. So going from there, did that lead to any awards on the football team or anything that you were recognized for at Franco?
Yeah. Franco, we didn't really have any awards. Like we had like the school sports awards. It was just like student athlete, and then like the best player for like each team. And then like I never won anything because like we always had smarter guys on my team than me. And then grade 9, 10, 11, I wasn't the best. And like grade 12, we didn't have awards that year, so that was my big year. I was hoping for it, but
it's unfortunate. But I mean, I think it goes to show, leading into the next segment, that you were still able to showcase your dominance, and especially getting those 100 pancakes, and that led to yourself getting to the University of Windsor, right? And heading into that situation, can you talk to us a little bit about the recruiting process and how student athletes can aspire to have that similar pathway, whether it's CEGEP, CFL, university, or CJFL, university, and then eventually, perhaps trying to get to the pros. But first off, talk to me about that recruiting process and getting there.
Well, my recruiting process was a little different because I had a lot of CEGEP and other schools talking to me at the time, but I didn't really want to do anything. Like I didn't want to pursue football. So I ended up going to Algonquin College to study electrical engineering because I wanted to be an electrician. But then I was still playing football. Like I ended up playing the Orleans Dukes, like in the NCAFA, and I ended up playing really well again. So a recruiter from Windsor contacted me because he recruited me to another school when he was there, and he out of the blue he just contacted me asking if I still wanted to play in that, and then I wasn't sure. I told him I'd think about it, like I'll let him know. I wasn't planning on it, and then he kept asking me to like come down to play, so I was like I'll give it a shot. Like I verbally agreed, and then I had to talk to my parents because like going from Ottawa to Windsor is like a big move. Like they weren't really sure at the beginning, but then they asked me to play for Cumberland during the summer because I wasn't going to play. Simply because like when I was in college, I ballooned from like 330 to like 400 pounds.
Oh boy.
So like I just wasn't an athlete anymore. I wasn't down for it. And then they got me to play. So I played. We ended up being terrible. We lost every game, and then we had to forfeit our last one because we didn't have enough guys left. And then I went to the CJFL, played Sooners there, and like it was great. Got my love back for football. I mean, I didn't start right away. It took time, like obviously as a rookie, but then over time, like guys got hurt and I got my opportunity and I never looked back. So that's when right after that season, like I had in December around, December 15th or 16th. I don't remember the exact date, but we drove down to Windsor. It was a long drive. And like we went for my official visit, and like I fell in love with the campus and place like immediately. Like my parents saw like how happy I was, like, and like I signed. Like they didn't know I was gonna sign like on our first visit, but I was ready. I was like, this is where I want to go, and I ended up signing and had to put in a lot of work to like get back to game shape. Like I'm still working on that. The ballooning up to that weight was definitely a problem, but now I'm back down to like 325.
But that's amazing, man. It goes to show that, a little perseverance and a little bit of football and reigniting that passion for you, is it goes a long way. And pretty cool of you to even, show some love to that coordinator and take that commitment seriously when he showed you love, and then you just went right back and you didn't even bother with the other visits, right? Yeah.
No. I mean, it would have been too long to go visit multiple times. It's a 9-hour drive. I don't think my parents would want to do it at the time. Yeah,
absolutely. It's definitely not one of those things that in the province of Ontario you want to be doing too often.
The funny thing is when I signed is like Windsor is like the lowest point in Canada, like the lowest city. It's like right on the like our campus is right on the border. It's insane, but it's supposed to be like warmish weather. Like in the winter, it's not supposed to be that cold. The day I went to sign, it ended up being a blizzard. It was like the coldest day they had in a long time. Lots of snow, so it was quite an interesting day, but I loved it.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that. And let's talk a little bit about your time at Windsor. Now you've been there, 4 years now?
This is technically my third year.
Okay, technically, yeah.
Because it's online, so I stayed home to train.
Okay, fair enough. And so how's your time at Windsor been? What have you learned? What's going on with the program there and the coaches, and what's going on with you there?
Well, my first year I was redshirted because like I was still in the process of losing a bunch of weight and I was just practicing, but like I loved it. My first year we had Joe Demore as our head coach, and then some things happened and you had to step down like after the first season, and then we hired JP Cercelli from Western, and he's now our head coach, and like I love it. Like he was an offensive lineman. He understands the O-line. Like we had, like last year I didn't get to play because I got hurt like right before the season started, like while I was training, ended up like spraining my meniscus, MCL, ACL, and PCL. So I didn't get to play, but like I feel like our team's going to be on an upswing. A lot of boys we're a very young team. I mean, I'm 21 and I'm one of the oldest guys on the team. So I think we're going to be good in the coming years once we get it all together and we take off. Well, I think we got some ballers on our team, and I think we'll surprise some people.
Well, that's awesome, man. And just goes to show you that, you know, with a little perseverance and, you know, the help of one, your high school facilities and coaches, and then also getting that seasoning and reigniting that passion, you found yourself a beautiful home there, right, at the University of Windsor. And
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying I want to ask you about that is because, you know, with these student athletes, it's super important for them to understand the aspect of what it takes to go from high school to, you know, that next level, and that you really have to love the game in that sense. And you've shown that you've, you know, been able to reignite that passion. And I think I saw it when you were smiling about those 100 pancakes. You know, that's the kind of life you want to live on that line. Might be a little harder in youth sports, but yeah. You think you can get it done? Yeah.
Whenever I get a chance to play, that's my goal, is to play at a level where I don't get taken off the field. So I don't know if it's realistic to get 100 pancakes in this league. It's definitely not, but it's definitely the goal is to put people in the ground.
Yeah,
that's where linemen have the most fun.
Mm-hmm. And then you know, just going back to the high school scene, you know, can you talk about a little bit, maybe even in French if you want, about your time as you know, un étudiant athlète francophone? You know, like what's important about that, and, you know, learning the French language as well.
Well, I mean, I've kind of lost my French. It's been years since I've been talking that like on a daily basis. Like I can like talk to people, but like like I could text in French. I can't talk in French anymore. But
is it a unique environment being at a high school that speaks French, but then also has you know, a football team? Because let's be honest, the Ottawa football landscape is very much English dominated, right? So
yeah, it was very different. Like our plays and everything. Well, because we had different coordinators. Like my beginning years, like it was all in French, and it was hard to like grasp for some people because like they learned everything in English, and then they're like, but like for me it was basically the same. Mm-hmm. Because like it's still a runner pass, like that's how we were gonna call it anyway. Like, but like the French aspect was pretty important. We got to like we got a few offsides there with our French calling against some English teams because they didn't really understand.
Yeah, that's fair. So. That's awesome. Well, thank you again, Connor, for agreeing to do this, and just wanted to congratulate you again on making this list. This is no small feat, but as we could probably tell, you know, this is something that was well deserved, and your coaches spoke very highly of you, and so did the other coaches in the league. So just congratulations and thank you.
Well, it was my pleasure for doing this interview, but like thank you for allowing me to do this, like choosing me for this team. Like it's still unreal to me. Like I would have never imagined this. So I'm really happy.
Well, pleasure's all ours, and you'll be seeing definitely some footage come out in December of yourself, and a nice little photo and stuff like that. So all the best to you, Connor, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Take care.